Welcome back to the Wavecast. Today we're going to be doing our Marvel movies tier list and shows, anything MCU related. I'm Hayes, joined by my co-host Dallas.
Might be me.
Might be
Might not
him.
be.
And we're just going to get right into it. So I figured we'll just go alphabetically, or not alphabetically, but just in order that these are in. So we'll start with Ant-Man and end with Thor Ragnarok there. So, Ant-Man, I'll let you start. Where do you want to place it?
I feel like it was a pretty average movie. Like, it was good, but it wasn't amazing. It
Okay.
wasn't perfect.
That's fair.
Funny, pretty solid. Good introduction to the character. So I think it's a pretty solid average movie, at least in like my experience.
Okay. That's
What
fair.
about you?
I would have placed it in amazing just because I feel like it's the best of the Ant-Man movies, personally. And I think it's really funny because I love Paul Rudd. I think he kills it. But
Yeah,
I'd be fine placing it average if you want.
I think like it's pretty. Amazing like works too. Like it is the best out of the three. Then when you put it that way.
All right, let's put it in amazing for now, and we can always change it later. All right, so we got Ant-Man 2. Where would you place that one?
Like this was good too. I liked it, but I feel like it didn't have the same like flair. Like it wasn't as fun as the first movie.
Yeah,
But
I
it
would
was still
agree.
good. I think it's still average. I don't think it's below average yet. I think it's still an average movie.
Yeah, I would place it in average as well, so I think that's a very good place for it. I agree. It wasn't as great as the first one. Still pretty good. I don't know how to explain why I didn't like it more. I don't know. There's something about it.
Yeah, I think the villains were a little not as fun. Maybe the humor wasn't as great.
Yeah, Ghost and
And
Bill
the
Foster.
ghosts.
Yeah,
Yeah. They're kind of forgettable villains, being completely honest.
I would agree with that.
But he did
completely
go
forgot right
Giant
there.
Man in that movie, which was pretty cool. I did like that.
Yeah, his first giant. Well, no, he did it in Civil War first.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I do like seeing Giant Man too.
Yeah.
Ant-Man 3.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got?
And the first not great movie on the list, huh? And it's borderline mad garbage to me, not gonna lie.
Okay.
I hate how they introduced King in this movie, how his character developed throughout it. I did not like some of the story in it, especially like his daughter just becoming a giant woman, I guess, taking her helmet off while she was giant, which made no sense considering they make a very strong point that you can't take the helmet off while you're in that form. Otherwise, not so good things will happen. And she just does it casually.
And then he does it.
And that was her first time ever experiencing going giant too. And she's just like, oh, this is easy.
Yeah, and Ant-Man does the same thing. Like, she takes her helmet off, he takes his helmet off.
Yeah, they literally forgot what they wrote in the first Ant-Man and second one of the story with their devices. They just kind of went out the window.
Yeah.
So that was really stupid. I didn't like King, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. I liked certain parts of King in that movie, certain moments, but the overall King I did not like. It's not a great way to introduce him. Felt weak, felt boring, kind of silly.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I honestly, I would place it below average, but I'm fine putting it in meh, just because, and the only reason I would put it below average is because I really did enjoy Jonathan Majors as King, not like King.
Yeah, like he.
But I think
he did well.
He played the character really well. The writing was terrible.
It's just the writing is awful.
Yeah, so I'm fine putting that in meh.
Yeah, I think it's definitely meh for me.
Okay. What do we got next here? Avengers 1.
Amazing. Oh, okay. Near perfect for me. Like
Near perfect.
It's just too good. Like, what is bad about this movie? Like, trying to think. Like, honestly,
there is a lot of great stuff about it. The thing about me though, I wouldn't put it in S or maybe even A, to be honest, just because it's not like one of my go-to movies when I'm like, oh, I want to watch a Marvel movie. Avengers never pops into my mind, but I do enjoy watching it every time. So
all right, when was the last time you watched it though?
Whenever we watched it in the server with everyone else.
Okay, so like
months ago.
like a year, yeah, like almost a year ago.
Yeah, a while. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't. Yeah. It's not my go-to. Like, I don't think I'm gonna put on the Avengers, but if it's on, I'll sit there and watch it. So
there's just so many good moments
in
in it,
average,
though,
but I'll put it in amazing if we can meet in the middle.
Yeah, I think amazing works, but I'm like, oh, it's just too good. Like, there's just nothing bad about it. I think that's the thing. There's not a bad thing about Avengers for me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not like amazing and like, near perfect, but like there's nothing bad about that movie.
Yeah, I would agree. I was just gonna say, I should say this now before I forget. My personal rankings, I tried to split up like franchises a little bit. Like, I didn't want to put two of the same
same
franchise in the same tier.
Yeah,
if I
I
could help it,
totally
but-
also do that. I'm not gonna be biased about Iron Man movies. I promise.
Well, that's one of my exceptions too. But I just wanted to throw that out there up front because I almost forgot. All right, we got Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Okay, I feel like people underrate this movie and hate on it a little too much, or just don't like it, or I don't know, leave it in the shadow. I
Mhm.
honestly really like this movie. I think it's really fun and action packed. Honestly, it's an amazing for me.
Amazing for you. Okay, I would agree. I don't have
They
many.
do. There's one thing
Go
I
ahead.
wish they wouldn't have done, and that's killing Quicksilver off instantly almost.
Yeah, that's fair.
The man that can dodge bullets fucking dies of bullets. That's really unfortunate.
He felt really nerfed. Like his super speed was not that super, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
Which, I mean, makes sense, but at the same time, they should have kept him alive a little bit longer.
yeah, maybe make his death in like Civil War or something. Maybe I don't know. Who knows? But
I still really like it.
so you say amazing. I have one major problem with. It's not that I dislike the movie. I have one major problem though. Is Ultron terribly underused in my opinion?
Okay, I agree. Like in the movie, though, like, do you think he's underused in the movie, or you just think after the movie? Like he should have been.
I think in the
more
whole in
MCU.
the grand scheme, I think he was great in the movie, but in the grand scheme, to bring in Ultron, one of the biggest villains, and then just kill him off in the same movie, I was like, it doesn't really sit well with me.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that. That's a good point you make up. Like I definitely think they should have left. Like you can kill him off, those bodies.
Yeah.
But, like he's Ultron, man. He's everywhere. Like you don't kill Ultron like ever.
Yeah, and I guess he could technically still be around in the MCU, and they just
Right,
haven't
they
come
could-
back to him yet. But
They could easily bring
so
him back.
far, there's
whenever.
been no indication of that.
Yeah, that is a good point, but I still think if you're watching the movie as like a standalone movie and like having what it is be,
Yeah, and
Not
you could do
thinking of-
Vision too. I really like Vision, and the
does he remain worthy though?
we will talk about that. I don't think so, but that's just me.
Hey man, if the elevator's worthy. Yeah, no.
You said
I think it's amazing
amazing.
for
I would have
me.
placed that in below average, to be honest. So I'll put it in average.
What the below app? Oh,
When you compare
come on.
it to the other 3 Avengers movies.
Come on.
All right, we'll put it in average. How's that sound?
All right,
I'm compromising here. I'm compromising.
we can settle on average for now.
Hey, yeah, we can always change stuff around later.
Okay.
But now we got big hitters. Avengers: Infinity
Listen.
War.
There's no way this isn't near perfect. Okay, like, okay, hold on, go back.
All
We're
right,
on
all
1
right.
out of 10. 1 out of 10.
Okay.
All right. Oh my god, I'm pretty sure I was in the edge of my seat during this entire movie. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, this is one of the
Like-
best experiences I've ever had.
Dude, going to the theater at the time this came out, and just like everyone was so hype, and then like, oh, that moment where Tony just eats his own sword, and you're just like, no, they're killing him right here. Like, oh, everyone just like went complete dead silent in the theater, and then like he lives, and you're like, oh, that sign of relief.
Yeah, it really
And
turned
then-
all it on its
And
head.
then that snap, like you know what is gonna happen, but like at the same time, it's unexpected,
Yeah, 100%.
Just like watching everyone fade away, and especially like Peter in Tony's arms, like that was.
Yeah,
That was
which
intense.
they put in the trailer, which kind of like not disappointed me, but I don't know, annoyed me, I guess.
It was a great movie. It was full of like a lot of emotions, a lot of action, a lot of like, what's gonna happen? Holy shit, they're just gonna kill everyone, maybe?
Yeah, no, I would agree because like this is the first time we brought
Yeah, this
all
is
the
a-
characters together. Guardians, Avengers, miscellaneous characters like Doctor Strange, like everyone came together for this, and
It was awesome. Like,
that is everything I ever wanted at that point.
yeah, the build up for this movie too, like 10 years in the making, like
Oh yeah,
it was so cool seeing everyone together. Well, not obviously together at once, but like all the different like parts being put together, everything,
Yeah,
all the
seeing
movies come together, all the Iron Mans,
the
all the
pieces of
Captain
the puzzle
Americas,
finally
Avengers,
making
yeah.
the full image.
is complete.
Yeah, no,
Thanos was just awesome too. Like I feel like they did such a great job. Honestly, it should be called Avengers Thanos' movie.
I mean he was basically the main character.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say. It was amazing.
Okay.
All right,
No,
Avengers
I know.
Endgame.
Hold on. I know this next one. I know you're already wanting to put it near perfect.
Mhm.
I do not.
Where would you place
Um,
it?
I would say average.
Average. Okay, explain.
I'm like average to like amazing in the middle ground between there. Follow up movie to Infinity War, it's literally part 2. Great movie for most of it. Uh, all right, you already know this. I fucking hate Smart Hulk. I
Yeah.
despise what they've done to
Do
Hulk
know
in the
that.
MCU. I think he's so stupid, even though he's so smart. Like, I hate his character in the MCU. I hate his part in Endgame. Like, he felt so useless. Like, all he was just a way to bring everyone back from the snap.
Mhm.
That's literally all they set his character up for, and it is so lame. Also, super lame that we didn't get to see Hulk fight Thanos like again, or like for real this time. And the fact that we'll never get that is incredibly lame. That was really lame. I hated the whole like women power movement scene where it's like, we got this, and then like nothing even happened with that. It was kind of cringy. I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of a cringy moment in the theater. I felt incredibly unnecessary. What else?
Can I respond to your first 2 points?
Yeah.
Okay. Smart Hulk, I also is not my favorite version of the Hulk, but he's basically been a minor character. He's not a minor character, but he's a supporting character throughout all of the MCU because of the rights issue. So honestly, them making him that honestly didn't bother me that much. I agree, not my Hulk. That's not my favorite Hulk. My favorite Hulk is the one from Ragnarok. That's the best Hulk. But it wasn't enough for me to hate the movie. And as far as the female scene, yeah, it was kind of cringe. But you know, Disney's got a Disney, so. Those two small things, not enough to ruin the movie for me.
Yeah, like not ruined, but like I really hate.
Not even knock it for me. I think it was great the way they killed off all the newer characters and then made the core 6, you know, the starting 6 Avengers. The focus.
Yeah, like no, it had hype ass moments, especially when the OG 3 like
take on Thanos. Yeah,
take on they're like solo Thanos essentially. Like that was great.
And Cap finally picking up Thor's hammer. That was a
dude, that was so dope. Like like the hammer that got thrown and when it boops Thanos, oh, yeah. You're like, you
knew immediately. Like they tried to hide it with like, oh, who's picking it up? But like, who else would it be? There's no one else worthy enough, in my opinion.
I thought that was awesome. God, that was such a sad movie though. Like the second Tony like died, like oh my god, everyone's crying.
Yeah, and that's another reason I put it near perfect because the emotional impact. There's been no bigger emotional impact in the MCU than Tony Stark dying, in my opinion. So that's why I love that movie. It just does everything right for me. And I love, maybe unpopular opinion, I like it a little more than Infinity War, but I love both of them a little bit more personally.
Whoa, that is an unpopular opinion. I agree.
It is. Come at me. I'm not saying I dislike Infinity War. Infinity War is amazing, and so is Endgame.
Oh, we have a Cap fan over here. Fucking
Cap? I do like Cap. Yeah.
No. I'm just saying.
You're a fucking Iron Man fanboy.
No, you hate Iron Man. You're just saying it's your favorite because Iron Man dies.
No.
Fucking hater.
I love Iron Man.
No, but it was great. But
fine.
I don't think
for you, I'll compromise and put it in amazing.
I think we can go like borderline.
Yeah, I'll compromise for you, even though I'd want to put it in S. But all right, Black Panther.
Good movie, but overhyped. So overhyped. I'm sorry, I'll get hate for this maybe, but it's just overhyped. All I could hear about, like when it was coming out, was how amazing it is. 10 out of 10. There's so much hype built around this movie. It's all everyone was talking about. And then like I watched it and I'm like, what? Not that special. Like it's literally Black Panther versus Black Panther.
Yeah.
You know, which again, like I understand the other movies did that with Iron Man 1 is pretty much him versus himself.
I mean, that is the Marvel formula.
You know, yeah, it's got that formula where the villain is the same as the hero essentially. But I'm not gonna lie, it was a boring movie. Didn't really care for it. It's below average for me. But I do like Black Panther's character. Chadwick, I think, did a great job playing Black Panther. Really unfortunate he passed away, but
yeah,
that was like the only good thing that came from Black Panther. Honestly, was him playing Black Panther.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Black Panther was way overhyped for what it was, and I like Black Panther the character, and like I said, I love Chadwick the actor.
Yeah,
so unfortunate for his passing, but it didn't do it for me. It was way overhyped, and I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah, it's just.
Big letdown, and personally,
too overhyped. For really
honestly, I would place it in D.
I would say below average, maybe. Maybe it's like man to below average. Because the second one is definitely man for me. Wakanda Forever.
Okay, that's fair.
Honestly, it might even be garbage to me. I'd be man to garbage for this movie.
Honestly, I liked it more than the first one.
So
even
like, I could see that, but like. Man, I don't know. I don't like.
Personally, I really liked Namor. I thought he was really good. Shuri, I mean, like she is the Black Panther in the comics. I don't like her. She becomes a Black Panther in the comics, and I don't have like a problem with her being the Black Panther. But
There's
obviously the
nothing
only reason
wrong
they
with
did
that,
it
but
was
it's
because
like-
Chadwick passed.
Right, and I get you don't really have much options.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I didn't care for her being Black Panther.
I just think it happened too fast. There wasn't enough
It-
Black
again,
Panther
it is too
lore in the
fast.
MCU because the Chadwick's passing, like that really
Right.
just fucked everything up. I think had he been around for the second one, it probably would have been better. Like, and it was still the
without a
same
doubt.
story, but with him there, like it would have been much better in my opinion.
Yeah, it would have probably been an average movie.
I would agree. It would be an average.
But
Probably.
I think with how it turned out, I think it's kind of meh for me.
So I was gonna
again,
place
it's
it in
just
C,
boring.
but I'll put it in meh since he's flopped on Black Panther.
Okay,
Black
I think this
Widow.
is gonna be the first garbage movie. There's no way this isn't, right? Like, okay. So my issues with this movie is came out way too late. Like, what was the point even
Yeah.
of releasing a Black Widow movie after like Endgame? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but like this should have been done way before Endgame.
Good
The
point.
story was just boring. I hate what they did to Taskmaster. They ruined that character, and he's such a cool character, and they just ruined that character.
Yeah.
The
agreed.
CGI in this movie was awful. Like, the explosion scene when they're in that like refinery.
In the prison.
Yeah, that was so bad.
Yeah.
It's really cringy. It just felt so pointless. Like this entire movie, the story was weak. The characters didn't feel that great. Even Black Widow herself felt bad. Like the writing of it, and none of it felt good.
Yeah.
I was really bored during this entire movie. Like nothing was fun. Nothing was exciting. It felt unnecessary. I don't know. I would definitely put this in garbage for me personally. Like,
I definitely agree that like there was no point since we already knew what happened to her. Like obviously she's not gonna
Right.
die. The story, like the plot itself, doesn't really advance much of anything, and that could change with Thunderbolts, because Yelena will be in that, and supposedly
True.
Taskmaster is supposed to be in that. So and Red Guardian. So 3 characters right there. That's what it seemed like. It was more for anything to set up future characters than actually tell a story about Black Widow.
but it didn't set him up well.
Well, no, I'm not saying it did it well. I'm just saying that seems to be the
Right,
purpose
yeah.
of the movie was, oh, you like Black Widow? Well, here's this character, and this
But
character, and they're gonna show up sometime later, and you already know what happens to Black Widow. So
But you could
whatever.
have just introduced him in like Thunderbolts or just like some other show before then, because like they didn't do a good job of introducing him and making it worthwhile, So
I do like
feel
David
like that-
Harbour though, the
Yeah.
actor.
yeah, like the actors are fine, but like they run Taskmaster, and that was so disappointing.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest disappointment with the movie was Taskmaster, because I like the idea of Taskmaster being like photographic reflexes and stuff like that, and then they just make it
Yeah.
like a computer program and it's a mute woman. Like that's not Taskmaster. He's supposed
Yeah.
to taunt you and say, "Oh, you fucking suck because I can copy your moves." Ha ha ha. Like
Yeah, he's a very egotistical character.
yeah.
He's a very
Um,
cool character, and they just completely trashed him.
We can place that
Definitely.
in garbage. Yeah,
Definitely garbage for me.
it's pretty much a useless movie.
It really is.
All right, Captain America 1.
Okay, so I like it. It's a good movie. I think it's a great introduction to Captain America. Like it does everything I think perfect for the first like Avenger type Captain America movie.
Mhm.
I honestly don't have any issues with this movie. It's either amazing or average to me. I think it's a solid movie through and through.
Okay. We're going to have to fight about this one then, because I think it's meh. Personally,
Really?
it's very cookie cutter origin. We already know how Captain America becomes Captain America, and literally everything happens in the process that it's supposed to happen. And it's just very linear and, like I said, cookie cutter. Like you could take this story and put it in any continuity and it would work. And
Agreed.
it's just
I
a
mean,
boring
it is
movie
the
to me,
Captain America.
personally.
I can definitely see that. I think like the first kind of like half of the movie is definitely boring. I won't disagree with that. It's kind of slow.
Even the later stuff,
first half.
he goes on his first mission, and releases the prisoners, and then they just do a montage of, oh, here's him kicking ass, and then all of a sudden, oh, they're gonna go raid Red Skull, and now he's stuck in the ice.
I mean, it's
I don't
definitely, like you said, very like basic cookie cutter story, but I think it's played out well. Like it's not bad, and it serves for what it is, which is introducing Captain America, also setting up the Bucky story,
That's
Red
true.
Skull. I think it's just a good setup and I guess origin movie, because not many of the other movies are too origin like, if that makes sense. But his is very on paper orange. Or not orange.
Orange.
Origin.
Very orange on paper.
Orange, very orange, yeah.
Yeah.
Origin.
Well, that just reminded me when you said Red Skull. He was kind of wasted too. He's a big villain, and he's gone in one movie, and obviously he comes back in Infinity War for one scene.
Whoa, spoilers.
Oh, spoilers. And Endgame,
No,
I
that
guess
wasn't-
too.
no, he's in Endgame, right? Not
Yeah.
Infinity War.
It was in both of them. Well, he shows up when Thanos and Gamora get there, and then when Natasha
that's
and
true. That's true.
Clint get there.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, nothing comes of that. He's stuck on that planet, as far as we know. So
yeah, I wish they would explain like how he ended up there and kind of like.
Well, the space stone took him away, but
well,
other than
but,
that, there's no explanation. Yeah,
actually, like explaining it a little more than
yeah,
figure it out.
yeah. So I mean, that's why I would say meh personally. But you say what, amazing or average? We can
I'd
put
say
it
it's
below
average.
maybe.
Well, all right.
We can always change stuff around. We got a lot of fucking stuff to go, dude. We don't want to stack one category too much, you know. Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Too good of a movie, honestly, man. Like too good of a movie. It's so fun to watch this movie because the fight scenes are so good.
They're pretty good.
And the story is actually pretty solid too. I like the story of it. This is definitely. It's either amazing or average to me, simply because there's also Civil War coming up. But
yeah. Well,
it's a cross between those two. I don't know. What about you?
You said amazing, average. Okay. I would put it in amazing personally, and I think that my biggest problem with the movie, like I said, the action's amazing, the story is amazing. You know, we get the return of Bucky. The biggest problem that I have with it is it ends Shield, and Shield was barely a thing in the MCU. I feel like it should be a through line throughout the whole MCU.
They did not utilize Shield to what they should have and could have.
Yeah, and that's my biggest.
I'm fine with them like ending Shield, but they should have rebuilt it into something better or different. Introduce like Hydra. Well, not Hydra, but because Hydra was in this movie. Introduce like another.
I think they should have had AIM take over as like
AIM. Exactly, that's what I was trying to think. I could not think of their name. Introduce AIM into the mix with Shield.
I think
in some way, maybe they rebrand it into AIM. I don't know, but there could have been some cool stories with that. Even if they like turned it into like a show. Obviously, they weren't doing those at the time, but
yeah. But yeah, I mean, everything other than that, I think is great. You know, also actually another thing that I would say I don't like about the movie, but I had hoped for more was Arnim Zola.
Really,
I don't like. You know, we get Arnim in the first movie and he's human. And then we get him in the second movie. He's on the monitors for a whole 5 minutes, and then he's dead.
Yeah, he's like the AI.
I think he's another great Captain America villain that you could bring in down the line, even like with the new Captain America.
Could technically still do that because I mean he was
he's kind of like Ultron.
Kind of.
But I think didn't they say in the movie all of his shit was in that base, like all of his databanks?
He was just in that little like old data center.
Yeah, so it's possible. I don't see them doing that, and I think they'd have a hard time doing it.
Probably not. I don't think they should either at this point in time now.
Still, regardless of that, I think it's an amazing movie.
Agreed.
All right, we'll put it there then. All right, Captain America: Civil War. Let me go first. I'm saying S tier, one of my favorite of all time.
Agreed.
Barely any issues with it, so.
Agreed.
All right.
I feel like, again, this is another one of those movies that kind of gets put in the shadow simply because of Winter Soldier. I feel like people only talk about Winter Soldier and completely ignore Captain America 3. Or it's just literally just Avengers. Sorry, this is just another Avengers movie.
It is Avengers
it's just
2.5,
in disguise.
Yeah. I think the biggest problem that people had with it at the time was that there was no actual villain. I mean, there's Zemo, but he's just pulling the strings, and the heroes are actually fighting, you know?
But that's the point of Civil War.
Exactly.
It's not necessarily supposed to be a villain, per se.
Exactly.
The villains are the heroes, technically, in this movie.
Yeah, whose side are you on? That was literally the tagline for the fucking movie, so...
Literally, like Captain America and Tony are the villains in a sense.
They are.
So, like, along with every other hero, like they're all villains, and they're trying to figure out who's right, who's wrong, and you know, you're like, oh, it's definitely Tony at one point, and then like you watch more, and you're like, oh no, it's definitely Cap.
Yeah, you're like Tony makes some good points, but you know, Cap has the right idea, and they're like, well, actually, you know, Tony makes a good point again. I don't know, Cap might be faltering a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Team Iron Man, fuck Cap, but like at the end of the story, I mean, they're both wrong and they're both right at the same time, you know.
Do you think
like they're each right and they're each wrong in their own like ways, and they couldn't really see that.
Was Cap in the wrong for not telling Tony about
1000% and anyone that tries to defend that is fucking stupid. Like I'm sorry, but like
would you tell your best friend that your other best friend killed his dad?
Bitches, dude.
Would you tell your best friend that your other best friend killed his dad?
100%. Like I'm sorry, but like Tony, it was deeply impacted
while he
by
was
that.
Brainwashed.
Hold on. He was deeply impacted by it his entire life, and like you could even still tell like
Counterpoint.
to this day he was hurt by it. You know, you can feel that pain.
Counterpoint.
And hold on. And Steve is just like, "You're my best friend, bro." And then like turns around to Bucky, "No, you're my best friend." And he's like, "Bitch, don't do that. Just fucking tell your friend." And like the thing is, he could have told like Tony at any point too. Like even before Bucky came back, he could have been like, "I know who killed him. You know, like your parents. Like just put Tony at ease a little bit. You know, because like he just wanted to know like what happened to his parents, and like he's always gonna be left wondering. And like,
did he though?
Well, I mean,
was
like,
that a big motivation for Tony Stark in the MCU that I'm missing?
No.
I know he had daddy issues, but
yeah, like his parent, like he loved his parents dearly. You know, like you could definitely tell, especially his mom.
Well, yeah, especially his mom.
And like, you know, that was his mom. Like, and he even says it, that was my mom, dude.
Yeah, I think he cares more about his mom than his dad, to be honest.
Right. I mean, his dad was obviously pretty terrible to him, but like, you know, he explained why he was terrible to him, which I mean, that doesn't justify it, but yeah, you know, he still loved his parents. I don't know. I think Steve was a little bitch for that. Not gonna lie.
That's fair.
Especially saying like, you know, Tony was his best friend.
I think both sides have, you know, valid reasoning and criticisms of each other.
Yeah, exactly. They're both right. They're both wrong.
Counterpoint to what you said earlier would be, if his parents had not died like that, would he even become Iron Man, or would he stay a spoiled, entitled brat?
Who knows? Obviously.
I'm just saying the only thing he becomes Iron Man is he's CEO. He has to do this weapons demonstration. Well, I mean, regardless,
he would have been like incredibly rich and successful. I mean, he still was super smart. The only thing that really made him Iron Man was getting thrown into that cave and having the shrapnel in his heart.
And would he have been there though if his dad was still around?
Who knows?
Exactly.
Maybe it would have been his dad.
There could have been no Iron Man if his parents never died.
But to be fair, like maybe that's what would have been better for him. Maybe he could have been changing the world in another way, or maybe he could have still been Iron Man without, you know, the shrapnel in his chest. You know.
Hey, calm down. That happens after Iron Man 3. I don't know. That's just like, if all that stuff did not happen.
That's like a what-if story, you know?
It is. I'm just saying.
That's literally what it is.
Everything happens for a reason, good or bad, but...
Sure, but like, you know, he should still have told him like what happened to his parents.
Well, I'm ready to move on from that because, you know, that's perfect, basically. Captain Marvel.
Oh, shit, I fell asleep. Yeah. It's a snooze fest of a movie. Again, it's another boring. It's borderline man of garbage to me. Not gonna lie. I think the coolest part about this entire movie was the cat eating everyone at the end.
Wait, is it Goose?
Was it Goose or something like that?
I know there's a different name in the comics, and I can't remember which is which.
I've only seen this movie once because I never wanted to watch it again.
I've seen it a couple times, like maybe 3.
I'm sorry for your loss.
I actually don't mind it that much. I would still place it in meh, but I actually don't mind it that much.
Mad garbage for me.
I like seeing Sam Jackson, also de-aged, and Ben Mendelsohn, really great. But I don't know. I will say one thing. I think Brie Larson is terribly overrated.
Oh, 100%. She's overrated, but I don't think she's like awful.
It's nothing against her personally. I just think she's like, everyone's like, oh, Brie Larson, queen, Brie Larson. I'm like, she's like average at best. Like, I don't know, acting, looks, like everything. I don't know. She's just way overhyped.
Yeah,
you know, that's just me. So I'd place it in meh.
It's definitely meh.
All right, we'll do that.
Nothing more than meh.
All right, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. See, now it's gonna start getting goofy because the fucking order got all messed up.
Yeah, I feel like doing this backwards now.
No, we're just doing it in order. Fine. Do you want to do the first one first so you can have a baseline?
No.
All right, Multiverse of Madness.
So you go first.
I think I would say it's below average. I didn't hate everything about it, but I didn't love a lot about it either. The Illuminati stuff was really cool. I think the limited universe hopping that we did get was pretty cool. But, and I know you have this criticism too, it became more of a movie about Wanda and America Chavez than anything when, you know, the title's Doctor Strange.
Oh, we're talking about Doctor Strange's second movie. I thought we were talking about Wanda's movie. We're literally someone else that's not Doctor Strange's movie.
Yeah, and I understand Wanda's motivations through it. Like, I know if I had kids and I lost them like that, like, I'd be
I'm sorry. I have a giant flaw with this.
I mean, I would do anything to get them back because I don't know. That's how I feel personally. But I just, it didn't do it for me.
So the whole Wanda going batshit crazy because, she wants kids or whatever. I understand her feelings. I think she's stupid because couldn't she just go to like a universe where she was dead and her kids were alive and then just pop in there
Maybe
and
there are no universes where she's dead and they're alive. I don't know. Okay, but I do agree. Like she went too far, like batshit crazy. But like I understand her wanting to get them back and hopping from universe to universe. She just went about the completely wrong way.
I just felt stupid. Like I think she could have done it a million other ways. I don't know. Isn't she's supposed to be incredibly smart? Didn't seem very smart in that moment, or any moment, honestly, with her.
No, I agree.
She feels honestly like really stupid in this movie. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, very misguided. I
was
gonna say a lot of the action and like certain sequences were really good. Like when she's hopping through the mirrors in the pools trying to get to them in the Carmitage or whatever it's called. That was really cool.
Yeah, like the CGI is cool and special effects, but I don't like the story of this movie. I think the writing's pretty weak too.
I would agree with that. I'd place it below average. So.
It's got that new Marvel effect to it, which is the writing's kind of sucks.
Okay, yes. I think that's a problem post Endgame because Kevin Feige stretched himself way too thin and was just approving shit left and right because we're Marvel. We're going to make our fucking money back. But you can't do that when you're spending so much money on these movies for it to be so shitty. You got to have more creative control when you're the man in charge like that.
Also, it's like Wanda. I mean, I know like they could bring her back since they didn't show the body, but like I swear I saw like some sort of article recently where like they're done with her and she is dead.
They might not have plans for her right now, but I don't think she's dead. There's like a blast of magic when the tower's crumbling, which I don't think would happen if she died. So I think obviously she escaped somehow, but
maybe that's her power draining out when she died.
I doubt it. She's supposedly the like strongest character in the MCU, and she just dies to rubble.
Strongest character of my ass. We all know who that is.
Captain America.
All right. Someone's had too much to drink tonight.
All right. Who's the strongest?
Oh, you gonna say Thor? Clearly Smart Hulk, bro.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say
I'm just kidding. Thor. It's definitely Thor. It's 100%.
Yeah.
There's no way. I'm sorry. Thor would fucking destroy Wanda at this point.
Okay. Counterpoint. Thor couldn't beat Thanos. Wanda almost beat Thanos.
He's different now, though. He's built different. That was Fat Thor, bro. Fat Thor was in a deep ass.
So hold on. You're saying Thor: Love and Thunder Thor was a better Thor than any game before that?
Well, he's technically stronger now.
Okay.
But he's not better character written wise. But like,
all right, I'm gonna hold you to that. So wherever we place Thor: Love and Thunder has to go above it.
You're taking this out of. Anyway, back on track. I think it's like a below average to me.
Yeah, I would say below average too. And like I would rewatch it, but there are certain points where I'd be like, yeah, I'm just gonna tune out.
Yeah, for real.
We got the Guardians holiday special next.
It was silly and funny and goofy, and Guardians is always good, so average. I don't think it's anything special.
Yeah,
I just think it's average.
I would agree, average. I honestly only saw it once, and I was kind of hammered when I saw it, but I still really liked it.
Kevin Bacon,
and
we got you a gift. Fucking Kevin Bacon.
One thing that kind of annoys me, but I also do like that they did it. I wish I did it a little later. Actually, was confirming Mantis was Peter's sister.
Well, how do you really do it? Because I mean, the only other time you can do it's within the third movie, and I feel like it wouldn't have. Like, where would you introduce that at? And then like.
Yeah,
it kind of does suck because I feel like not many people are gonna see the special. So like some people going in, I know I had a couple friends that were like, "Wait, they're related," because they never watched the special, and it's like, "Oh yeah, it was confirmed in this. You can't have to watch that." But I mean, it wasn't like a huge thing, you know. So
I agree, but they do bring it up multiple times in Guardians 3 without like, if let's say if you've never seen, you're like, "Wait, what?" Because my parents were kind of like that too. They just watched the movies. My mom.
I mean, it was also kind of hinted and confirmed in the second movie. It's pretty obvious.
Definitely hinted at, because in the scene when he's showing him making love to all the aliens, you can see one of Mantis's species there.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of connect the dots. But again, like the actual confirmation was kind of done in a show or whatever you want to call it, a short special that wasn't seen by many.
Yeah, but for what it is, just a holiday special, pretty good.
But, yeah, it's fun. I liked it.
All right, Iron Man 2.
Near perfect. Told you I'm gonna be biased on all the Iron Man movies.
That's fair.
I'll go for amazing though, being more honest.
Trying to think.
Man, it's just too, it's a good movie. Like, I don't have anything bad about this movie. Like, okay, hold on, I take that back. The only thing that was really bad about this movie was I didn't like Whiplash's suit in the end, like that final fight. I thought his suit was kind of meh. I also wish that they would have had a bigger fight with Whiplash instead of him just kind of showing up, grabbing them both, and then dead.
Yeah.
I wish they actually would have fought him.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, he was only there for like 30 seconds and then he's dead.
No, I agree. You know, you get him in the beginning on the racetrack, and then he's behind the scenes the whole time, and then yeah, he gets that one little confrontation at the end.
Yeah. I think if they would have extended that final fight scene with him more, it would have been like near perfect for me. But I think because of that, it's an amazing.
I would agree. I was going to place an amazing too. I do love the whole scene before that when they're fighting all the drones. That's one of the, the best scenes.
That
in the
is so
MCU.
cool when they're flying throughout. Like, I love that, especially as a kid. Like, oh.
Their little fight before. All right, we'll put the big gun up on top. They both start walking. What are you doing? I'm the big gun. No, you have the big gun. I love that dialogue between them. But yeah, I don't have much else to say. It's a great movie, and one of my. I'll rewatch it infinitely. Watching Iron Man 1 and 2 back to back is like one of the best experiences.
Easily one of my most rewatched movies of the MCU.
I would agree with that. All right, now we got the Incredible Hulk from 2008.
Hear me out. This is my Hulk. Oh, fuck off. This is my Hulk. Listen, this is peak Hulk in the MCU. I know some people don't want to be like, oh, this isn't MCU, but like it technically is MCU. Well, no, it is MCU. Pick it up off it. I know some people don't want to accept it.
They're idiots, so.
Dude, this is peak Hulk. Like, he's angry, he's strong.
I disagree with that.
He's Hulk. He's more controlled. Like, they do have him like a little controlled, but like he's still like angry, like raging, like Hulk. Like he's the most, I guess, rage. I mean, I don't really count Ragnarok because like he's in 100% control. Whereas in this Hulk, it's still a fight between him and Banner.
I mean, I do like that he's more Savage Hulk. I agree with that 100% over Smart Hulk, but I don't think he's my peak Hulk. My peak Hulk is Ragnarok, where he has a little bit more brain power to him, where he's still not like, you know, a genius, but he's not a complete idiot mute. And it can only say Hulk smash. You can actually have like basic conversations. Haha, puny god.
Yeah, I like that too, but I like Hulk to be unpredictable. I like him to be that. Is he on our side or is he on whoever's side he wants to be?
Yeah.
Like, you know, his own team. Did he make his own team and he's just gonna beat the shit out of all of us?
Yeah.
But I think that's what makes Hulk a fun character.
Okay, but other than the character, what do you think of the plot?
Okay, it's not terrible, especially for the time it came out. It's not great. I do like the fight with him and Abomination, though. I thought that was fun.
I would say maybe that's the only good part of the movie. Personally.
Maybe that was because, like, at the time this came out, I was pretty young.
Same.
So maybe it was a lot cooler than what I remember because I haven't seen this movie in a while.
I mean, 100% when it came out, I was on top of the world with it. But, you know, in retrospect, rewatching it as I've gained experience and knowledge, it doesn't do it for me.
I think below average would be where I put it because I don't think it's that bad of a movie, honestly.
Ooh, well, I would put it in garbage. So how about meh?
I feel like we should rewatch this because I feel like it's not that bad, honestly. But maybe both of us are gonna change our mind.
Yeah, I'll watch it and be like, "This is the greatest movie ever." To be like, actually, this is as great as I remember.
Yeah, we should go garbage.
How about let's just do I'm good for we'll meet in the middle. Yeah,
we'll meet in the middle.
I can't believe we put fucking Black Widow lower than Hulk though.
Look, dude. Listen, go rewatch both and then you'll be like, yeah, okay. No. Oh, dude, I thought you just put Black Widow up there. It's like, no, we're done.
No, I know what we're both gonna say, so I just moved it out there. We can talk about it.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I'm gonna just go ahead and say this now. Every single Guardians movie has to be in there perfect. Like, I'm sorry, but there's no way they're less than that.
That's fair.
Damn, dude, they're so good. Like, what is bad about them? The soundtrack is perfect. The story is awesome. Mm-hmm. The characters are probably the best developed characters next to like Tony and Cap, I guess, in the MCU. They're just so good. They're so well played too. All the acting is great. The fighting, CGI, like there's nothing bad about these movies. Like they're just perfect.
I would 100%
maybe
agree.
There's like,
I mean, do you just want me to move them
one little small flaw like here and there that you could probably nitpick at, but like, damn, dude, they're so good. And the rewatch potential in them is all like top tier. Maybe the third one isn't as best at rewatching it because it's pretty fucking sad. I'm gonna lie, but
Agreed, but I think
aside
that's
from
great.
that, like they're just all great. Like, and
Yeah.
the third one is just an amazing end to it too, and we'll get to that one later. But like the first or the second one,
Oh, I 100% agree.
great.
We'll just talk about them all
And the third
right
one's
now.
a great conclusion to the story. It's a great ending to it.
Yeah, this was such an unexpected hit, Guardians 1, when it came out. And like I said, I think just the characters, the writing, everything about it was so good. And it carries over so well to the second and third ones. Whereas some movies, like the Thor movies, each one feels a little bit different than the next.
We don't got to talk about the first two Thor movies.
Or the fourth. But I'm just saying, like, every single one of them feels a little bit different. Whereas all the Guardians movie, they just feel like they don't skip a beat. You know what I'm saying?
I want more Guardians movies. Like, I want them right now.
Oh, so do I.
Like, I need them now.
I know a lot of the actors like Batista and Saldana, like they've all said, no, I'm not doing that again because of all the makeup and shit. And well, Batista's getting old and losing his muscle mass, but I think they handled that well. They put him in a shirt, even though in Guardians 2 and 3, or Guardians 2, he says he hates shirts, but because they hurt his nipples.
Yeah, he's got sensitive nipples.
Yeah. Maybe they made some like special nipple pads for him in the shirt.
Yeah, they got technology.
But I mean, maybe, dude, Dave Batista is probably one of the best parts.
Dude, he's so like, you think like Drax? Obviously, I know that is one thing that people kind of don't like is they did nerf Drax a lot.
I don't even care. I fucking love him.
Yeah, who cares? Like, dude, he's so funny, and like you don't expect him to be funny. Like you think in the first movie he's gonna be the serious character of the bunch, but he ends up being like the goofiest and stupidest one.
Oh yeah.
Like. Just stand perfectly still. They can't see me. Just like, oh my shit, that was so funny. Like,
standing so incredibly still that my movements are naked to the invisible eye. Hi, Drax.
How many times has that been used over and over again? It's just too perfect. Like,
yeah,
every character is so good. Like Peter, Rocket, like everything's just good. Even Gamora. Like Gamora is actually a pretty good character, and I've never cared for her.
Yeah, honestly, before the Guardians movies, the only experiences I had with them was in the Earth's Mightiest Heroes show, I think.
Yeah, like they weren't really that popular characters, honestly.
And half of them aren't even in that. Like Drax and Gamora are not in that. So I think Gamora was great. Zoe Saldana played her well. Just the whole... And at the point when the first one came out, you know, Thanos was still a growing threat. And she provided that direct like relation, which really grounded it in the rest of the universe. Yeah.
Because, I guess the only thing they could have done is add Nova in, you know, still waiting for that. But...
Agreed. I thought that was going to happen after.
I was really want to get the third movie.
I thought we were going to get an Infinity War because, you know, it starts with Thanos destroying Xandar. That's like the perfect point to bring him in. But they can't get their shit straight. Instead. Well, yeah. They can't get their shit straight with Nova, so I'm going to wait.
No, I love the Guardians movies. Easily my favorite. Like,
yeah. 100%. Like those are movies I'll just throw on in the background if I need noise, and I'll just sing along, quote along as much as I need to.
Just add all their soundtracks to Spotify. That's what I do.
I literally have that.
Everything's so good about those movies.
Yeah, I have that playlist already. So I mean, I'm sure so many people do because it's great soundtracks. But yeah, moving on. Loki.
Okay, so season 1 Loki, good. I like it. It was funny, not funny, but like it had its moments. Had that Loki charm of him doing his bullshit. The variance was cool. Learning more about like the multiverse and kind of like time was interesting. Wasn't completely sold on it yet though in season 1. I think towards the end of it I was, but the first half I was not. It was a little slow starting out, but I mean, to be expected with kind of any new show when they're trying to do story building. I think it's actually the right direction with all of the current stuff, because a lot of the other kind of movies and shows that are coming out in Marvel are not great. And I think Loki stands out because it actually has solid acting and solid writing with it. You know, there's a couple of hit and miss episodes or moments where they're kind of boring or a little dull, but I think that's pretty solid. I think the ending of season 1 was really good, and it set up season 2 pretty well. I know we can't really talk about season 2 fully since it's not completed, but
talk about
really
what
liking
we've seen
it
so far. Yeah.
I think the latest episode was just crazy. Episode 4. It's definitely setting up for something hopefully cool if they can keep the writing going. Hopefully they don't just like flutter out and lead to nothing. But you know, who knows? Kind of gotta wait to see where it ends.
Yeah,
I think it has to end strong though. If it doesn't end strong, I think it's not gonna look too great.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like I said, I have complete faith that it will end strong because personally, I thought season 1 was really good. Kind of same with you. Kind of first like 2-3 episodes, maybe I was kind of like, where is this really leading?
Right.
And then second half of the first season, I was like, this is perfect. I love this. The introduction of He Who Remains as a King variant, I really liked that at the time. It was exciting. And then we got Quantumania.
And then it wasn't as exciting.
Yeah, kind of brought it down a little bit. But season 2, going straight into it from the end of season 1, I thought was amazing. Perfect decision. Like, just keep the ball rolling. You could watch season 1 and start season 2 in one sitting and you would lose nothing. There's no like gap like Guardians where you have to go, okay, what happened in between? Oh, Infinity War, Endgame, all this shit.
Yeah, it's definitely start to kind of finish type vibe to it.
Yeah, and I do like where it's going. I love, Victor Timely as well. Jonathan Majors, the King writing has nothing, or the King writing is the biggest problem. The acting, every role he plays.
Yeah, no, the acting has been great so far. I agree. Like, it's just the writing that's keeping it subpar.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. But I don't think that's a problem with Loki because I think Loki's been doing a good job.
A problem with new MCU.
Yeah, it's like I said, Kevin Feige was just spread too thin, and he's just letting people run around willy-nilly, do whatever they want when he needs to rein it in a little bit because he's, head honcho. But personally, taking both seasons into account so far, I would put it in amazing.
Yeah, I definitely think it's amazing. I mean, maybe it might drop down to average if it ends poorly, but
of course,
wait to see.
Yeah, you never know what can happen. We have an episode coming out tonight, so we'll see. Iron Man 1.
Okay, it has to be perfect. Yeah, like, dude, I think it started the MCU. Like, it started it. It's perfect. Robert Downey Jr. kills it as Iron Man. Like,
he is Iron Man.
The story is great. Just watching him become Iron Man throughout the movie and him doing his like tinkering and like workshop stuff, I thought that was really fun. It added to the character. It really showed like he's the mechanic. Like he built Iron Man. Like, yeah, and it also shows how smart he is and like how his mind works and all this tinkering and it's so good. It's funny, it's action packed, it's tense at moments. What is not to love about it? Like, it's just too good. No, perfect origin story for this character.
I agree. It did so much with so little.
Literally,
it laid the groundwork of what the MCU would become with simple shit like. The biggest thing I can think of right now is the tease at the end with Nick Fury, I'm part of S.H.I.E.L.D., whatever. And at that point, when you were going to see that, no one expected that to be a big, like, connected cinematic universe.
It's like one-off movie, but...
Right, they're like, an Iron Man movie? I remember reading about that guy from the fucking 80s or whatever. Or I remember reading about him in the 90s.
Yeah, and it just completely changed the character. Because, like...
Oh, yeah, it defined the character. Like, RDJ's portrayal of him is
Iron Man. Is Iron Man.
Yeah.
Like...
I was going to say, also, it's so impressive that it was their last-ditch effort to make money because they were a failing company before that. So they owe a lot to Iron Man, and I think Favreau for making Iron Man work.
Oh, 100%. Completely rewrote this character in, like, the best way possible. Because, like, beforehand, he's always just, like, super asshole character.
Yeah. And it brought out the thing of everyone knows who Iron Man is, like his identity, because it was a secret before that, which many people don't really remember, I don't think, because he was such an unpopular character. But, everything about this movie revolutionized him.
He took over, because, like, the most popular characters were Wolverine, Spider-Man, like...
Let's say X-Men, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four...
Oh, now he's like, everyone knows who Iron Man is. Like, they're everyone.
You say Fantastic Four, now they go, oh, that shitty movie from 2015? But yeah, that's all I gotta say about Iron Man. Moving on, we got Hawkeye.
Okay, I would say it's average to below average. I think it's a pretty decent show, especially comparing it to all the other ones. Like, the only other show I really cared for was Loki. I liked it. I think it was a good way to set up the new Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, without completely replacing Clint. I think it was a good way to, out with the old and with the new type vibe and kind of set up a little bit of a new or like young Avengers kind of
definitely think we're getting
show or movie, but it's obviously a long time coming now, and I feel like they waited too late, and I don't know if it's going to work out too well now, but who knows? Actually sticking to Hawkeye, I think it was fun. I liked it. I think it's pretty average for me. I don't think it was amazing. I don't think it was bad.
No, I would definitely, I 100% agree with that. I'd place it in average too. So let's
also really liked how they showed like all the like effects of battle and like the hardship, the toll it's taken on him with like his hearing and like his mobility is not as great.
Yeah, I really like the show, to be honest. I wouldn't say it's amazing or anything, but I thought it was really good for what it was. It's, Hawkeye, like the most boring Avenger besides maybe Black Widow.
Yeah, I'd have
But
to
I
put
actually
Black Widow's most
do
boring.
like Hawkeye as a character like quite a bit, to be honest, because he is just like a guy, but he's really good at archery and he pulls off some amazing stunts. But that's just me.
Yeah, great actor. Like,
Oh yeah, I love Jeremy Renner. I was also gonna say I love the dynamic between him and Kate, and I think last episode we talked a little bit about how some of these shows just feel like, oh, here's your replacement.
yeah,
With Hawkeye though, even in the
It felt
comics,
natural.
you can have two Hawkeyes, I feel like, and it could be a good dynamic where it's not like he's replacing me or
because
she's
I mean they're just
replacing me,
archers. Like at the end of, they're just highly accurate,
Right.
like
Dude,
acrobatic.
If you want to hop over to DC
Martial
for a
artists,
sec, how many
essentially.
fucking archers are in DC? Like 40.
Too fucking many.
Yeah, like there's so many archers. Archery is like one of the easiest skills you could do and be like a superhero. So I don't know. I just think their dynamic is great. I love Haley Steinfeld as well. She's hot.
Okay.
Well, she is, but also I do like her as like an actor. I love her in Bumblebee and like anything I see her in, I'm like, oh, cool, Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah, I think he's pretty solid. Nothing special.
Yeah. Oh, and also something you didn't touch on, and I do want to say is Kingpin is back. I love Kingpin.
Kingpin. Yeah. Oh no, definitely love Kingpin. Love Daredevil and Punisher.
Oh yeah.
On the Netflix.
Cannot wait for that.
Definitely want more of them.
But yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
Iron Man 3.
Okay. Easily, for me personally, the weakest of the 3 Iron Man movies.
1000%.
100% disappointed with how they did the Ten Rings.
Yeah.
With him literally just being like a fake character, essentially. And then I hated the villains in this. Like, they're just like glowy, nuclear, powerful, radiated people. It is so stupid. I'm sorry, but their villains are stupid.
Oh, I agree.
They could have had like a cool ass story with the Ten Rings and like they run that. Like I was so disappointed. Even going out of the theater when I first saw that, I was like, okay, I love Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr., so that was cool.
Yes.
And it had some cool fight scenes and like some cool moments with story building. But aside from that, oh man, the villain sucked ass. Like it did not make this movie what it should have been. And whoever decided to like completely ignore the Ten Rings and go with this made up random bullshit, like sorry, but that was not the time to do that.
Yeah, I have 3 things to say about the villains. I'll start with the least controversial one. First, the Mandarin fake out. While I hate that they did that with the Mandarin, I do love the fake out that he's just an actor, and I love the actor. He's like,
it was
an actor.
funny.
Like, he's funny. I don't like the fake out in of itself, but the way they did it with him being like a goofy guy, that was awesome.
It's just
I also
stoner.
love when he shows up in Shang-Chi. That is amazing too. The second thing, as far as the extremists like villains, I think they could be good. Not in this movie though, because of the Mandarin angle that they pulled.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly.
Like, yeah, so it could
was not
work
the time
if
to do it.
It could work with a different story, but it just didn't fit in this one. And then the third thing I would say is this was the part where they brought AIM in, which also felt really weak, where Aldrich Killian was the leader of AIM.
But it was pointless almost.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was pointless.
They just kind of slapped the name in there, and it's like, okay.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They wasted it. They brought, here's advanced idea. Or he's looking at the paper. It says MIA, and he printed over AIM. Oh, shit, AIM. Like, no, you need the beekeepers. You need the beekeepers. You need MODOK's floating head leading them, which they also fucked up. So
I guess that was another point.
AIM's a pretty much lost cause. Yeah, we talked about it last week, I think, a lot. But
yeah, I don't know. Like, it's still a good. I think it's a solid movie still, just because it's Iron Man.
Yeah, I would
say it's average.
I would put it below average personally, I think.
Yeah, it's below average to average.
I'm gonna put it in below average for now. We can always adjust later. All right, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay. Before I watched it, I was kind of hyped for this. So I was like, all right, I'm pretty interested in this. I love Bucky, and Falcon's a pretty cool character. Watching it, I was bored. I'm not going to lie. I think this show was so boring.
Yeah.
It was too political. Like, they tried to push too much political garbage into the show.
Agreed.
And it did not need that. Let it be Marvel. I get, there's still Marvel has its own in-world politics and whatnot, but it's like, did we really need to push that into the show and try to push it onto the audience? We're just here for the superheroes and Disney, the story of them. You don't really need real life political stories in this. I feel like it's pointless.
Sorry, I'm gonna go off on a tangent real quick. Did you see the Blade news about
I did. I feel like we should touch at that at the very end though.
Can we just talk about it now since you talked about the political stuff? Like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
got in a fight with someone on Twitter. Not really a fight. I won clearly, based off of comments and responses. But this dude was like, I was like, oh, wokeness ruins everything. And this dude was like, it's woke to put a black lead character. I'm like, that has nothing to do with it. It's injecting feminism and life lessons into your story because you want to do that. And making Blade the fourth lead of his own movie, that's dumb.
Yeah, like, I agree. That was definitely stupid. Like, whoever decided to make a Blade movie and then it wouldn't actually be a Blade movie, so then what was the point of the movie? Like, the
That's what I
entire
said.
point of Blade is to be like the horror kind of vibe for Marvel.
Yeah.
Him being the vampire. And
when you want to watch a Blade movie, you just want to see him fucking kill some vampires. That's his whole shtick.
Literally,
he doesn't give a shit about life lessons.
He's a silent character.
He doesn't give a shit about life lessons and feminism.
Yeah, it's not the movie for that. You got other characters you can do that with, other stories you can do that with.
Like Captain
Sorry,
Marvel.
That's not Blade. Exactly. Yeah, and like so many other characters too.
Yeah. Sorry, I went off that tangent though. Yeah.
Blade, that was stupid. I saw that too. But anyway, back to Falcon.
Yes.
Boring. Didn't care for it. I did like some of the fight scenes they had. I think the acting from the main cast wasn't bad. I did like, what was his name? He tried to be the new Captain
agent,
America. Right, he's Captain America, then became U.S. agent. I did like him. I think he was a great introduction. I liked how just like violent he was. Just thought he was a good addition.
Yeah, I agree. Well,
but other than that, I did not care for this show. Honestly, sorry, I might get hate for this. I don't like Falcon as a new Captain America simply because he's just a person. And he's not a super soldier serum. He can't do what Captain America did, which is the stamina, leadership aspects. He kind of has that, but like he can't really do that if he gets taken out within the first punch. How are you gonna lead your team if you're dead because you're just a normal dude who just got a hole punched through his chest because he's not actually Captain America?
Yeah.
Also, the stuff with the shields, like, I'm sorry, you can't do that because you're obviously, it's always to fight physics, but like, you're just a normal dude. You would not be able to throw the shield that hard.
Well, okay, I have a lot to unpack with this show. I would agree it was not the greatest, and I didn't really enjoy it that much, but I did like a lot of what they set up and like some of the concepts they were trying to bring in. It was just the execution did not do it for me.
Yeah,
I do agree that I don't like Falcon being the new Cap. I think it should have been Bucky. I think it would have had more emotional impact and also just makes more sense. Because Falcon already has this thing. He's Falcon. Winter Soldier has a metal arm.
I don't know how that makes him Captain America, but
no, because he's also a super soldier and he's Captain America's childhood best friend.
He should be Captain America simply because he's another super soldier. He has experience because he's fought alongside Cap so much and he can keep up with Cap. Obviously, he couldn't match Cap because Cap was better, but he's also pretty. I mean, he's the closest thing you got to the next Captain America.
Yeah, and I was gonna say it also gives him a chance. He's like trying to redeem himself. Yes,
exactly.
It gives him the perfect chance to, and obviously he's gonna get it in Thunderbolts now. But I would much rather him be Cap than the leader of the Thunderbolts personally. Exactly. And I was gonna say I like the introduction of Madripoor. I think is that what's called Madripoor. This is like the mutant, like city. So that was like a cool reference that hopefully they can bring in when mutants start coming in.
Maybe they didn't really do much with it though.
No, I know. I'm just saying I like that they introduced it. Like, they went to Madripoor. Now it's a location where you can bring it back up and give reference. Be like, oh, yeah, they said that in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like they've been setting it up for a while. Shit like that. And the last thing I do like about it is Zemo. I like that he got his mask. And I just like Zemo as a character in general.
Zemo was good.
Yeah, I like Zemo a lot. So I would say it's below average for me. What do you think?
I think it's meh.
Honestly, yeah, I'm fine with that. I had such high hopes for this one, but
it was very disappointing because I was also that was a one. Instantly just put that in garbage.
Yeah,
which is unfortunate because I think it could have been a cool movie. But let's be honest, like no one knows who these characters are. Really, they're not popular, very well known. They tried to like
Eternals, but
throw
like
popular actors and actresses into the roles to make it more exciting, but then they die.
Yeah,
but then they don't die. Like, I don't know. Like it's just
there's two things I like about the movie. The rest I don't really care for, and those two things are Gilgamesh. I love him. He's up there with Wong and Jimmy Woo as like the Asian funny guys. Like I would watch a show with those three. And the second thing is I just had it. Oh, Black Knight. I like Black Knight. Even though he's not Black Knight in
really,
it, but I do like
yeah,
the tease
like
of him at the end. Like Black Knight's a character that I would like to see, and them just name dropping Dane Whitman, and then you get the post credit with the black what's it called? Not the Necro Sword, that's Gore's. I don't know, the Black Sword, whatever it is. But just like the tease of it, I would like to see Black Knight show up eventually, which I think he will. And those are like the only two things I liked about the movie.
Yeah, I like how they had to kill Icarus off. Wasn't that the Superman kind of like clone?
Yeah,
guy?
I mean,
I like how they had to.
I saw that twist coming a mile away.
Well, it's like he's too damn powerful, so let's just kill him off by having him fly into the sun. Like, okay.
But also, they can just remake him.
Right. I mean, and he could technically still be alive in the sun for all we know, or maybe he decided to fly out after like some sun tanning in there. Who
we don't
knows?
know the upper limits of his durability.
Yeah. But I don't know. I thought the story was just all over the place a little bit, and it was weak. Also, like, there's a giant freaking can reaching out of the ocean, and it never shows up again in anything. It's not talked about.
Well, supposedly it's supposed to in Thunderbolts or Captain America, one of those two.
Fuck that. I'm sorry. It should have showed up way before then.
It should at least be mentioned or talked about. Like,
should have been on like a news broadcast in the background. It should have been a newspaper, like
exactly.
I don't know.
At least
something.
Reference it a little bit and just don't act like it never happened.
And you could have had Spider-Man being like,
of a
man,
giant
you guys see about
sitting out of the fucking ocean.
It could have been brought up anywhere.
Yeah,
that was just insane. Like everyone's just okay with it. Oh, guys, guess what? The world's actually a giant ass being Titan.
I think it's supposed to come up in Thunderbolts because I think it has supposedly he's full of adamantium and like that's how the Weapon X program starts. It makes Wolverine or something like that. So I don't know how true that is. Those are the rumors I've heard though, but we'll see how that plays out.
Shouldn't have been made.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Doctor Strange 1.
At the time, I think it was cool. I liked the portals. I think that was really neat. I still like the portals. I actually still think that's really neat.
Portals are cool.
So it had some pretty cool like mindfuckery special effects in it. Other than that, it didn't hit the spot for me. I don't know. I didn't really care for the villain. Didn't really. I don't know. It didn't feel fully executed to me.
No, I 100% agree. I think it was pretty weak in my opinion. The only thing I like about that movie is the visual effects. I thought they were really good. Yeah. But kind of like with Avengers, it's not a movie that I'm like rushing to rewatch. I'm kind of like, if it's on, I'll watch it, but it's not my top choice. And
honestly, like the story is just very.
I also,
out there.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I don't really like it that much. But I also don't like what they did with Dormammu.
Yeah, exactly. Like I wanted him to be there, fight him, be more instead of just kind of a bargaining kind of scene.
I agree, and I just didn't like the visual look of him either. Visually, and also he just did nothing. It was like this whole thing. The whole time they're trying to bring Dormammu
wasn't
to
a
the
threat
dark dimension here, and then so it's like Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Okay, we're done here.
Yeah, literally, like he wasn't a threat when I feel like he should have been.
100%. I'll put this in Matt if you want.
Yeah, it's like below average to Matt for me.
I was gonna say below average, but just talking about it just made me realize how much I really don't like it that much.
All right, this next one.
Yeah, we could put that straight in garbage.
Wow, man.
Like, do we even need to discuss it? I think people will just know.
I think I was so excited for this, and I was so let down. I love Nick Fury, and that was not how you bring Nick Fury back. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah.
That was not it, Chief.
I would say twofold. I love Nick Fury and the Secret Invasion, like, I'll say comic, but really the storyline from Earth's Mightiest Heroes. When they did it in there, that was like one of the peak arcs in that show. And I was looking forward to something like that. And I would say the first episode maybe like thought like it could have been like that, but it quickly went downhill.
Every episode got worse,
downhill.
Like every episode just worse and worse, and it's just like there's no way. Why is it getting worse? It's supposed to get better.
Yeah, that was.
Oh man,
very
I
disappointing.
hate every single episode of this show.
Yeah,
and the fact they killed off. Oh my gosh, they killed off. What's her name? What was it? The second episode?
Maria Hill.
Yeah,
it was the end of the first.
Was it the second one? It was the end of the first, wasn't it? I thought it was like, oh, okay, well, obviously she's not dead. It was like a setup. No, she's dead. Okay.
Yeah, I had that thought, but then I'm like, well, she didn't change back right away, so I think she is dead. But then I thought it would have more of an impact, and it doesn't.
Just the end of that character. They just wanted her out, or she was done. And so I was like, all right.
That also goes back to how I think they underutilized S.H.I.E.L.D. Maria Hill and Nick Fury are the two most prominent S.H.I.E.L.D. agents ever. So, and then you get them in what? Avengers 2. This?
The
Secret
second
Invasion?
Spider-Man movie.
Oh yeah, but
Far
it's not
From
even
Home.
them then. It's fucking Talos and his
Well,
wife.
It's them, but not them. You know.
Yes, they're the characters, but it's not actually
Yeah.
them. And where is Maria during all of that, by the way? Because we know Nick's in space.
I don't know. Maybe she just
on
fucked
off.
I don't know. They don't really explain it, do they? I think honestly, Secret Invasion should be forgotten, and let's pretend that never happened.
I agree. So disappointing.
Also, the Super Scroll was the most weird thing ever.
Yeah.
It also had probably, I think, again, some of the worst visual and special effects in MCU.
The visual effects for like when the scrolls are taking on power, the super scrolls are taking on powers, made no sense. How do they have Ebony Maw's fucking rings?
Yeah, like they had their clothing and like apparel, and it's like that's not how that works.
Yeah.
They should just have their physical appearance, not their.
Not even.
shit.
Well, I guess physical.
They had Drax's tattoos
I
on.
was gonna say, like,
too,
why would they have Drax's tattoos? Like, yeah, you can have his muscles and his strength. Why would you have his tattoos though?
his
Unless you're
tattoos
literally
are not
like
his skin.
chameleoning him.
Like that shows how bad the writing is, because whoever was like, yeah, well, we have to have tattoos because that's his skin. No, it's his tattoos, idiot. That's not part of him. That's literally a tattoo. Like,
Yeah.
It shows how downhill the new writing has gotten. Like, they don't even pay attention to their own material.
Yeah, but I hate to defend them, but I do think that's going to get a little better because of the WGA deals.
Yeah, definitely.
And
They
also
are
just
improving on
because
it, but
been failing so much, they probably realized that they need to make a change. So I think it will get better. It just they very misstepped.
There's so many times where like they just go back on their own source.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah, I think we should never talk about it again. Pretend it did.
I am perfectly fine with that. So the next one up we got is Far From Home.
I think we should start. I feel like we should do Spider-Man 1 first.
We can do Homecoming.
I think it was the best way to introduce a character that we've had so many stories for. We already know how he becomes Spider-Man. Don't need to know the 10 millionth time. It's so fucking boring at this point, and I could not sit through another origin story for Spider. I literally could not. I think they did it perfectly. Obviously, they introduced him in Civil War first, and then Homecoming. He starts out small, and he's already Spider-Man. It's perfect. Like, I think it was a fun movie. It was good. It's a great way to give him his first solo movie. I love that Iron Man was so, like, kind of tagging along with him, kind of being his father-like figure and mentor. I think it's cool. I like Vulture. I think that was a great character.
I would agree.
I don't know. It felt like a great Spider-Man movie. Like, it felt like a Spider-Man movie, which there hasn't been that many movies that feel like a comic or accurate Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It was a great way to do the, quote, origin without doing an actual origin. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like his whole trilogy, but I'll talk about that more when we get to No Way Home. But yeah, I don't really have much complaints about it. He's already established, so he shows up in Civil War, so he's a character. And like you said, we've seen his origin 1,000 times. So just throwing him right into the action, it does work so well because you're like, yeah, let's just go straight to business. And he gets the upgraded suit, obviously, which he has to figure out. But I don't know. I really like Homecoming. I don't really have much to say about it. It's just a very good movie.
Yeah, I think it's an average movie for me.
I would say same. That's where I place it on my personals. And then we got Far From Home.
Okay, I like this more than the first one. And I know this might be a little controversial. I think I like Far From Home the most out of Tom Holland's trilogy. I think I like it more than the third one.
Interesting.
I really like Mysterio. I like how they made Mysterio a tech kind of based character without bringing in like some magic like being. I think Jake killed it in that role. I just really like the story. I think it was just really good. And I love how, they used his fear against him. I love how his spider sense actually played a role in defeating Mysterio, because I feel like his spider sense isn't used a ton in the MCU with him. So I really like how they kind of capitalized on that. I love how they kind of showed him stepping up to kind of take care of his own troubles in this movie, because he didn't really have, he didn't have Tony to fall back on. He didn't really have anyone else to kind of fall back on too much. He had Happy there, but he's pretty self-reliant, and it showed him kind of stepping up to be more. I really like this movie. I really liked the fight scenes in this movie.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know that I'd agree it's my favorite, and I don't even know if I do like it more than Homecoming. I think my personal ranking would be 3, 1, 2, but it's not that I dislike the movie, because I do love Mysterio and Jake Gyllenhaal. He's great. I think I said it in our last episode, but The fact that he's like a special effects guy, I think it works so much better in this modern age than it did in like the 60s, 70s when he was, conceived as a character. I'm just trying to think of like what I don't like about it that moves it down in my list. Maybe it's just that he's not in New York. Like I feel like that's such a core of Spider-Man. I really don't know. But it's pretty good. Yeah, it just continues this story. I do like that he builds his own suit in the plane. That's pretty cool. The visual effects when he's going through the warehouse and Mysterio's playing those effects, that is a great scene. Like one of the best.
Yeah, I love that.
That's up there with the visual effects of Doctor Strange.
I love how they brought like a zombie Iron Man out.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
As the illusion, yeah, that was cool. I think maybe what I don't like about Far From Home is MJ. I'm not really a big fan of the Zendaya MJ, and she gets like a pretty big role in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything against her. I just don't.
It's nothing personal.
She's just a different MJ. I don't know. I think it's just that she's very different. Like she doesn't feel like MJ, but like that's not a bad thing necessarily. So like
she feels more like a Liz Allen.
Yeah, like and that's not a bad thing.
So.
It's just she doesn't feel like MJ, but I don't really have anything wrong with that per se.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just not my personal favorite portrayal of MJ. But you say you like it more than Homecoming. So what, you'd place it in amazing or an average, but just above Homecoming?
I think it's an average to amazing. Around there, it hovers, give or take.
I would personally put it below average, so we'll place it in average, I guess. But that, I mean, I don't know. I can't explain why I don't like it. It's just a vibe, I guess. But then we got
it's a little bit more serious, I guess.
Yeah, I think it has to do with them being in Europe. Like I said, I just Homecoming. He's in New York. He has that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man feel, and then No Way Home. He's traveling around Europe and going off on secret agent meetings with Nick Fury and all that. It just doesn't feel like Spider-Man to me.
I don't know. I like that though. I like they explored it a little differently. They did something different where he's not in the same setting.
I guess
I like that because he's always in New York. Like when is he not? I like that he's
that's like a core of Spider-Man that he's in New York's friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I don't know.
You got plenty of time, for him to be. New
York. I know. I don't know. There's something about it. It just doesn't tickle my fancy. But like I said, it's not bad. I still enjoy watching it. But I don't know that it'd be my top Spider-Man movie of the trilogy. But moving on, we have No Way Home to complete the trilogy.
Honestly, it's a great movie. Like it's so nostalgic. Like, well, there's that part. It kind of does feed on the nostalgia of bringing the other Spider-Mans in, but it's also really cool because like seeing all three of them together. Like, how is that not cool?
I would agree. Although it is nostalgia, I think they do it well. Where it's not just like, hey, remember this? Hey, remember this? Hey, remember this? They do it with meaning, where they come in and kind of be like the with great power comes great responsibility to him, even though I know Aunt May does it before that, but I don't know what I'm trying to say, but they come in with meaning. It's not just nostalgia bait. And we talked about it last week or in the last episode as well, but the whole Sinister 5 angle didn't sit the greatest with me, but it was great to see Alfred Molina's Doc Ock and Norman Osborn, Willem Dafoe, like great actors, great roles. I wish we could have got more of them in their original era. I would place this in amazing to average though.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Which one do you want to do? Amazing?
Yeah, I think you could push it to amazing simply because of the fact that Andrew got brought back in into
and Toby, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm placing amazing Toby just for the fucking conversation they have on the Statue of Liberty when they're waiting for the villains to show up. That's a great scene between all of them. You fought an alien? I want to fight an alien. Yeah, I was on outer space too. I was part of a team. I was on the Avengers. The Avengers? What is that? Fucking love that. Do you want to do the Thors in order?
Yeah, I think it makes more sense. Wow, dude, the first two Thor movies are like so disappointing and they're not good. They have like a couple of moments to them, but oh man, they have so many cringy moments.
Honestly, I would put them both in garbage.
Like, this is how I do it. The first one would be Man, simply because I think the Bifrost was cool, and then I like the ice giants in the first one. I like, the scene where they're all fighting. That, I think, alone makes the movie meh. And then the second one is just garbage. I'm sorry, but there's what is the redeeming about the second movie?
Since we agree about that, I'll put that there now.
I'm trying to think, like, what is actually like a good part?
The ether being the reality stone, like introducing that's about it. I guess the Loki like death fake out kind of like sets up for Ragnarok a little bit, but
I guess they have some like Loki Thor moment, and it's like not bad, but whatever.
I would say the best part about it is Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like it's just too cringy. Maybe there's like a couple funny moments here and there, but I don't know. I hate the first two Thor movies. I've tried to rewatch them and tried to be like, all right, I'm gonna like it this time, and every time I'm just like, wow, this movie is really shit.
Honestly, I think I've watched it too much, which has made me not like it more because it's always on TV.
Yeah, because it's awful. And
I know.
they don't like everyone has the rights to it because they're so awful.
Yeah, and it's always on TV, so I always watch it like at dinner or something if we just throw something on because it's going to take us 20, 30 minutes to eat. And I just keep watching it, and every time they're on Earth, I'm like, this fucking sucks. I mean, every time they're anywhere in the movie, this fucking sucks. But Earth especially, like, it's a classic Thor like plot line to strip him of his powers, and so he has to learn how to be worthy. But it just doesn't work in the live action.
The scene where they're in the town and the
destroyer just bitch
the
slashes
destroyer
him.
comes in, and that is so cringe. It's so cringe.
Yeah, there's not really many redeeming. I'm fucking moving this down.
So yeah, like honestly, the more I think about it, like it's so hard for them to.
Like I said, they're both in garbage. They misstep so hard, and I think what part of that is that Thor kind of has shitty fucking villains and stuff.
Yeah, like he doesn't really have. You have Enchantress. She's
Which they didn't even do.
Which
and she's like the only one. Well, and there's Loki, but he's like a through line for all of them, and he's not like he is the villain, but he's also like they usually have a different villain to be the villain. Like Malekith and the Frost Giants and the Grandmaster.
Yeah.
Thor and Loki are too tightly knit for him to be like a good villain to Thor. He's just like a staple. Yeah. You can't have Thor without Loki.
Also wish Odin would have been more prominent within the first two movies, especially like the first one. I wanted to see more like Odin, but we've got to see him very little, which I think is disappointing. Odin felt very useless, very, very useless and very underused.
Oh,
like, he should have had bigger roles in these movies.
I agree. And especially getting Anthony Hopkins to play him and then underusing him.
Yeah, and then like he's asleep in the second movie.
No, it's the first one. He's asleep in the first one, and he fucking hates everyone in the second one.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, my bad. I forgot how shit they were and getting confused. Like they just blur together. Like these two movies blur together because like
pretty much, yeah.
They're just so useless. It's just so bad.
I was gonna say the only good thing about them, and it's not enough to bump them up or anything, but Idris Elba as Heimdall. That's the only good
he's great.
thing about
and then
movies.
They killed him off too soon.
Yeah, agreed. I wanted more of him. I think I would be okay if they let him play someone else in the MCU just to get him back in there.
Put some makeup on, you'll never know.
Or just, change his hair and give him some different clothes.
Yeah, shit movies.
Agreed.
What do you think of Ragnarok?
S tier.
Agreed. It's the only good Thor movie.
Agreed. Oh, well, yeah, agreed. Because I wouldn't call Thor: Love and Thunder good, but I definitely think it's better than the first two.
It's not garbage, but
I would agree. Yeah, it's not great. But Thor: Ragnarok is another one where I was kind of talking about like with Civil War and the Guardians movies. Like I could just throw it on in the background and just listen to it like all day.
It's a very fun movie. And it's a very solid movie from start to finish, I feel like.
Yeah.
I love the starting scene or like the opening scene where he's just like in the chains.
Yeah.
Just talking to Surtur. And he's like toying with him. Like it felt so funny. And
that is great.
Spice in the movies were great. Hela.
Helena.
I don't know. I haven't seen it in a while. I can't remember her name.
It's Hela.
She was cool.
I would agree. I feel like they kind of mashed her up with Enchantress a little bit.
Yeah, she definitely gives you that vibe just from the looks alone, honestly.
Well, especially with Scourge being her like bodyguard.
Yeah, Surge felt different. Like he didn't feel much like Surge. Honestly.
I mean, Scourge is like a strong, silent, like simp, simp for lack of a better word, to Enchantress, and this is kind of like a comedy role. But the whole movie is kind of a comedy. But
I don't know. I liked it. The movie was serious. It was funny when it needed to be funny. You had your high stakes. I think all the characters actually became characters in this movie. Everyone felt nice. Thor actually felt really good.
I was like, Thor came into his own, like harnessing the power without the hammer, like kind of fully embraced his role as a god of thunder. Hulk.
The writing's actually solid in this movie.
Like I said, this is my favorite version of Hulk because he can speak a little bit. I like him being savage, but I want him to talk a little. Otherwise, you could put a fucking gorilla in there and it'd do the same thing.
Yeah, like I see what you're saying.
I don't know. That's just me. Like, I think it was the best dynamic between them two. Yeah, not much else to say. Great movie all around. Moving on to Love and Thunder.
Well, it should have been literally the same fucking thing, just different story. Could have been another near perfect movie. Could have been, the star child of Ragnarok. But instead, big disappointment. It's definitely easily a meh for me. Borderline garbage in some points, but easily meh. Like, what did they do wrong? You have the formula, and then you change it and go back to like the first two movies and make it stupid. And wow, dude, the entire movie felt like a joke. Like nothing was serious. None of the stakes were like there. It all felt like way too comedic.
Yeah.
Gore, wow, wasted character.
Yeah.
Nothing like his comic version and what he should have been. They should have explored more in the gods and like, you know, he's the god killer. You only see him kill one god.
Yeah. And then
I want to see him be the god killer. Make him an actual threat.
I was gonna say, you get to the Golden City and they're like, oh my god, don't talk about Gore.
You're like, yeah, like he's the one that's killed gods.
Right.
Okay,
it's like the only indication they give about like him killing gods. He shows the one in the beginning, and then they show the one at where they find Sif in the snow. So both things you don't see, and then they just talk about how deadly he is or whatever. And so yeah, he very like under displayed his power.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wasted potential and wasting fucking Christian Bale.
And I hated that they brought her character back in. Just let it be done. Like Jane should have just been a forgotten character. They broke up. Is what it is. You didn't. There's no point of putting it into this character. You already did that. Like it's useless. She felt useless. Like she just felt like they didn't know what to do with the story, so they brought her in.
That's what I was gonna say too. It kind of goes back to what I said before, like with Thor not having many great characters and villains and stuff. Like they just had no idea what to do. So let's bring Gore in, and then they kill him in the same movie. And like, let's bring Jane in. We'll kill her in the same movie. I did like seeing Asgard, the town, kind of like seeing this everyday life that became like a tourist attraction. It's kind of funny. But I think the biggest like the problem that they had with that movie was they just improv too much, and I think that came down to time restraints because they had a release date and they clearly needed more time. And just they said, we improv'd a lot in Ragnarok, and look how that turned out. So they dialed it up to 11, and it didn't work out.
You had the formula and you fucked it. Like, how do you do that?
Yeah, just needed more structure, more time. I think it could have been good, but could have been is not is. So you said you would put it garbage to meh.
Oh yeah,
I'll put it in meh just because I think it's a little bit better than the first two Thors, and I would rather watch that over anything in this. I'd maybe watch Black Widow the same amount as that.
Yeah. Also, we gotta touch on the power of Thor, where he just gives everyone the power of Thor.
Oh yeah.
Why the fuck didn't he do that in Infinity War?
I kind of forgot he did that.
Or Endgame. I'm sorry. Why didn't he do it in Endgame?
Because there wasn't a bunch of kids.
I don't give it. That makes no.
That's
bullshit.
I'm
just fucking. Oh my god! Could you imagine fucking everyone with the power of Thor, dude? That battle would have been over instantly. Fucking Iron Man.
Can you imagine Captain America with the power of Thor? He'd be like a more powerful Thor.
Okay, you double it, I guess. But like everyone with the power of Thor, like, dude, that I'm sorry, that was the stupidest shit ever. Like, whoever thought that was a good idea and thought that would be cool, no.
Yeah, I honestly completely forgot about that scene. I forgot a lot of that movie.
So stupid.
I forgot they go to the black and white planet.
Oh yeah, which I didn't really care for that, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of like. It just needed more time, I think.
One positive thing I can say about this movie is they introduced Hercules, so at least he's in the MCU and they can bring him in the future. Because I think Hercules is pretty cool, and obviously he's an OG member of the original Avengers, so it'd be cool to have him be an Avenger in the MCU.
An original Avenger?
Yeah, he was one of the original ones.
News to me, but maybe. Yeah, I can't really say much else about it. It's just disappointing. So we'll keep it in meh. So, and then we got your next favorite show, She-Hulk, Attorney at Law.
Oh.
Which you haven't even fucking seen, so I don't even know if you can properly rank this.
Look, I watched 4 episodes. Hated every episode because, again, I hate Smart Hulk so fucking much that he's so
in
garbage.
One episode,
I don't give a shit. He's in it enough to make me hate him. Even I hate how they made She-Hulk She-Hulk. Like, I hate how she became She-Hulk. I thought that was stupid.
I know why. It's because it has she in her name. You just hate that.
Oh yeah, that's definitely hate women. No, I'm just kidding. But like, no, like you gotta be honest. Like how she became She-Hulk was stupid.
I already knew what you're gonna say. I agree. I think we talked about it last week too, and it's just like it was given to her. She didn't earn the power at all.
It's not even like she has to earn it. It's the fact of how they did it. It was stupid. The car crash or whatever. Like, come on, you can do better
that's how
than
it happens.
that.
It's how it happens in the comics, though. It's literally the same thing, but well, not the same exact, but
it's but it's just I don't know. It's stupid. Make it better, especially with how big of a budget this show had. Every episode was what, 25 million?
Our main character is a fucking CGI character.
Yeah, but like, dude, the budget is insane. How can you not do better?
Because all the money went into creating the character, and they didn't focus on the plot and all that.
I don't know. It was goofy. At least Daredevil was in it.
Yeah, okay. Since I've actually seen the whole thing, I'll say I don't hate it. Obviously, I don't love it. There are things to like, as with anything. I think there are things to like about it, even if you don't enjoy it as a whole. And Daredevil is definitely one of them. I did like seeing the more like mundane side of the MCU, where like, and I'm just gonna full spoil it because I don't give a fuck about you anymore.
I hate this show. I've already had it fully spoiled. Like I've gone through.
I like seeing reading. Like F tier heroes and shit pop up, like the fucking frog guy and whatever his name is, Mr. Immortal, like he can't fucking die. That was actually kind of funny when he showed up. Like he kept killing himself to get away from his wives, but he didn't actually die. That was funny. The ending though was not the greatest. It was different, but I don't know how to feel about it. Do you know how it ended and shit?
Yeah, it ended with me not watching it.
With Kevin.
With what?
So she goes to the real world. She breaks the fourth wall in like the end battle, yeah. And she goes to Marvel Studios and like talks to Kevin, which ends up being like a AI algorithm movie maker. And they're just making fun of Kevin, which, like I said, it's different. And I didn't even mind that they like made her break the fourth wall, because that is part of like her character in other media and shit. But I don't know, just the way they did it felt kind of weird. Like she rewrote the ending as it was happening. Yeah, I don't know. It just it wasn't great. Well, I was gonna put it in meh anyway, so I honestly though I do like it more than Love and Thunder, so maybe I'll just do that. How's that sound?
I feel like it should join garbage tier then.
I like it more than all of these, if I'm being honest. I would rewatch this before I rewatch any of these.
All right. On to the next, Miss Marvel.
All right, Miss Marvel.
Okay. So I know this is targeted for kids.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care for this show.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously we're not the target audience for this. But to be fair, I don't think she needed a show. I think she could have had a one-off, like 40-minute special, and that should have been the end of this. I don't understand why we made an entire show for this character, especially when she's not that popular. I'm sorry, but she's just not that popular of a character. She did not deserve her entire show for herself. So many other characters I would have given a show to, not her. But again, I get it was marketed to young kids, especially kind of young girls, which is fine. But I just... a 40-minute short special would have justified it and would have been fine. Did not need an entire series.
I definitely agree. I think they should have a special presentation, and we touched on it in our last episode as well. I keep saying that, but we did touch on a lot of this. She would have been like the perfect character to do a special presentation for. And I think like the first episode and a half were pretty good. And then it just went downhill for me. Like expected it to go one way and then it went the other way. And then the villains were like very shitty villains. I don't know. The one like redeeming thing about it would be that she's a mutant and it kind of like is a backdoor for the mutants to come in. But even then it's a post-credit scene tacked on at the end. So I didn't really enjoy it that much either. So I'm going to put it in garbage.
I don't know if I put it in garbage. I think it's meh because, like, again, it's not really... We're not the target audience for that, so I think maybe it's a meh show. It's more of a kid's show.
I'm thinking here.
But, I mean, I don't care if put it in garbage, but I feel like maybe it's like a meh show.
I'm thinking. Fine, we can put it in there for now. WandaVision.
Okay. I think it's an average. I think it's pretty solid. I don't think it was anything... above that. I also don't think it's bad. I could see it hitting below average, honestly, because certain parts were nothing crazy, or kind of boring, a little slow, a little confusing, or left you a little questioning until you got to that next episode, and then even then you're kind of like, But it was good. I think it was different at the time.
I actually really enjoy this show. It's probably my favorite show of them, if I'm being honest. I personally really like the themes about like grief and loss, shit like that. It really resonated with me on a personal level, and I enjoyed the like old TV show style. I know a lot of people were like kind of confused by it, but I thought it was kind of obvious that she was making her own reality. That's like her whole thing. I love Jimmy Woo. Darcy, she was back. She was great. I honestly don't have many gripes with this show. It's one of my favorites. I rewatch it like every year, to be honest. So I would put it in amazing, but I can go for an average.
Yeah, I think it's average. I wasn't a big fan of like the White Vision kind of thing either.
I would agree that was probably one of the weaker parts too, but I think that'll come back eventually. So I think it'll come back maybe in Armor Wars or something tech related. I don't know. I liked it a lot personally.
Yeah,
so next we got Moon Knight.
Okay, I think it's in the average to below average.
I would say below average.
It had good moments, like when he was actually Moon Knight, and some of the fight scenes I think were pretty cool. Like the transformation scenes, I really like those. I really like that he was battling within himself, like different kind of personalities. I thought that was pretty neat because obviously it's who he is, but it's a lot different from all the other shows and movies we have. I didn't really care for the ending. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like the ending really at all for this. Felt pretty weak.
I would agree with that. I do like Moon Knight the character, even though I know he's not like the most popular, but whenever he shows up in something, I'm like, oh, cool. You just know he's going to kick ass for a little bit and then leave. And I like the, split personality aspect of it. I thought Oscar Isaac did an amazing job playing the different roles.
Yeah, like the acting was solid. Again, I think it just goes back to the acting is solid, the writing is not.
Yeah. I was going to say the villain with Ethan Hawke's character, I can't remember his name right now. That was kind of underwhelming to me too.
Yeah, I feel like he should have been something more.
I feel like it's just been something more like, it was mystical, but like you didn't see it until the very last episode. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. And then you get the big giant fucking avatars fight with Kantu and whoever the fucking evil mystical one was. I don't know the Egyptian gods. You know them better than I do.
I don't even, honestly, it's been so long, I don't even remember.
That was in 2022 when it came out. I don't know, but I've only watched it like once, I think. I need to rewatch a lot of these, to be honest.
I know we watched it together, and that was the only time I watched it.
We did?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. See, that's how much I don't really remember it. I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of a forgettable show.
I would say below average. Because like I didn't hate it, but also it's not my favorite thing.
Yeah.
I would watch it over a lot of the stuff down here, so.
I agree.
I'll save this one to the end because it's a prediction. Let's do this first. So let's talk about Shang-Chi.
No, I think you should go first because I know you like this a little bit more than I do.
Okay, I'll go first. I really enjoyed Shang-Chi because I didn't have really any expectations for it. Like I knew about the character, I knew he was a martial arts expert, but I had nothing beyond that. And it caught me by surprise how much I liked it because it was an origin story, but it didn't really feel like an origin story because it felt like an established universe with, can't remember, I'm just gonna say the Mandarin because I can't remember his name right now, but his dad being like thousands of years old, it kind of adds a little history. You can go back and do stuff with that. Kind of gives some credence, them making the actual 10 rings for why Aldrich Killian would use that group as his fake Mandarin. So I get all that, and I love seeing the actor Trevor, whatever his name is. I think that was a great part of the movie. And I think the action was pretty good too, obviously because he's a martial artist in real life, so he did a lot of the stunts himself. And with him getting the 10 rings at the end, I thought it was handled well. I thought everything about this movie hit all the boxes for me. Really not a lot of cons to it. Like I said, because I didn't have that many expectations. So
I definitely agree. Like I knew nothing about this character before this movie. The action was really good. I think the action was good. The CGI and special effects was good. The writing was pretty good. It wasn't anything special, but I think it was solid.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say it's like top tier. Like I'm not putting an S or anything, but I just I would say it was A or B because
it's a solid movie. Yeah,
I would say A even just because keep going back to it. I didn't have any expectations, and I walked out of there going, that was a good movie.
It was definitely better than some of the other movies at the time.
Yeah,
I think it's a solid movie. It's not bad. It's not amazing. I definitely think it was a fun movie. I like the special effects. I like the fighting style. I'm definitely excited for a second movie of this because I think it's pretty fun to watch, honestly. It's enjoyable.
Yeah. And supposedly the director is supposed to direct the next Avengers or maybe the second Avengers coming out.
Yeah, in 20 years from now.
Yeah, but also who knows how that'll change with all the news coming out recently. I'll place that in average if you feel like that's fair.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty solid.
Yeah. I mean, I would put it in amazing personally, but I know general consensus is probably pretty average. All right, so now we have a few things left. We got Werewolf by Night. Also, they have it in color now.
It's in color now?
Yeah, they this year's Halloween like special was releasing it in color.
Really? Did not know that.
I have not watched it yet, but I wonder if it makes it better.
I have not seen the color version.
Neither have I.
Okay, like I like the more kind of dark side of Marvel, the horror kind of thriller side. I really wish they'd explore it more. So big plus simply because of that aspect. Aside from that, I don't think he's anything special. Again, is maybe below average for me because really just kind of just like one of those one-off, you're probably never gonna see it again type shows. So that also kind of leaves it a little disappointing. Maybe I'm wrong in that.
I think we will see them again eventually after they get, Blade and maybe a couple other mystical elements in it. They can all come together, like Werewolf by Night, Moon Knight, Blade. Obviously, Man-Thing's in that too. There's one more I was thinking of earlier, but I can't think right now. Doctor Strange could be in it.
Howling Commandos or whatever.
Yep, that's what I was thinking. But like, I think they will come back eventually. I personally really enjoyed it because kind of same as Shang-Chi, I didn't have many expectations. Like, I knew who the character was.
Yeah.
And I knew Man-Thing was going to show up. Man-Thing I love, even though he's not like, a major character. But I thought it was well done. So I would say average, but I can put him below average. I don't really care that much because it is just a special. Pretty solid. Like, if they do more with him, I think it'll elevate it.
Yeah. I just feel like it's going to be a one-off and you're never going to see it again, but hopefully I'm wrong.
Who knows? But I hope we see more of it too. Yeah. And also, because it is a special presentation and we're on that is like the perfect way to do it. Like we were saying, just 40 minutes of here's this one character and here's their basic shtick, and then maybe they'll show up in something down the line, So we'll put them below average. And now we have What If.
What if what?
What if Dallas were straight?
Whoa. Spoilers. It was cool. I like what if stories because, obviously they explore the what if this happened or what if that, which are always fun, to stray from the main, always keeping it the same.
Yeah.
But a lot of these episodes felt boring. Maybe not boring. Maybe like uneventful,
like
or
not
what they should have been.
Concepts, I would say.
Yeah, like I kind of got tired of like the Ultron being kind of tied into a lot of these episodes. They tried to make like a story out of it, which I guess that's my biggest thing. They shouldn't try to make like a story out of it. It should have been, every episode should have been its own thing. Like, because they had like multiple like of the, the Peggy and like Cayenne, like different things to take down. It's like Ultron, and I don't know. I didn't care for that. I think that's what ruined it for me. Every episode should have been its own thing. Should have never been touched again after that.
I agree. I think the biggest problem was, having them all come together, because I think this is my personal theory, is that they were using it as like a test for like a Secret Wars type of movie. They wanted to see how people would react to different universe characters coming together to fight a threat. That's my personal
it's a
theory.
Possibility.
But I agree with you that I think they should have. What if works best when it's you change one thing and you tell. I mean, you do it in comics, so you tell like a one shot or like a 4-issue miniseries or something like that. You do. Yeah. You do one story, it's its own universe, boom. You can say, oh, what if that happened? That's cool how that changed. But yeah, like they pull in, oh, what if, Peggy was Captain America instead? Oh, well, now she's going to be the leader of this multiversal team to kill an Ultron variant, and also she's going to be in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness to fight a Doctor Strange variant. Like, no, I don't like that. Just end it with the Hydra Stomper, which is what they call it, right? With Steve.
Yeah.
Just end it with that. I think you don't have to do anything after that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think my favorite one was honestly the zombie episode.
Really? I don't think that was one of my least favorite ones. I like the T'Challa one a lot.
I just liked it because Wanda being the zombie, I thought that was pretty cool.
They're supposedly doing a zombie show in this animation style, so you might get more of that. But I'm not like a huge horror guy, so when it's zombies, I'm kind of like, whatever, personally.
I mean, hopefully season 2 is better of What If, because I know they're eventually doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just every episode should be its own thing. Don't try to make a story out of them.
Agreed. I just remembered the What If Killmonger saved Iron Man. That's so random. Why would Killmonger even be there?
Yeah, there's so many random, like, dumb what ifs. I feel like there's so many better stories they could have picked.
I'll place this in meh garbage, personally.
Yeah, I think it's like below average to meh. I don't really care what one. It's a pretty weak show.
All right. And then the last thing, that's all of our established movies and shows. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to predict the Marvels because it comes out in about a week.
All right. I think it's going to land, for me personally, I and probably in below average. Maybe down into the meh. I highly doubt it does anything more than average. Honestly, I doubt it does anything more than below average. I feel like this movie's been pushed back a lot and had a lot of kind of rewrites because I heard the story was so messy and all over the place that they had to keep rewriting it just for it to have some sort of cohesion, which is not a good sign. But I also just don't care for Captain Marvel. I'm sorry, but like that's just me personally. I just think she's boring in MCU. I don't care for these other characters introducing in the show. I mean, all they are is just Captain Marvel clones, essentially, which nothing necessarily wrong with.
They're a little different, but I know.
Yeah, exactly. They're. I guess they're not clones. They're similar. But I mean, I guess you could say that about
their
like
abilities are quite different, but they're all kind of like
they're trying to all. I guess what I'm trying to say. They're all trying to take on the role of Captain Marvel in this.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Which I mean, again, like there's a lot of other characters that do that with like Tony and like War Machine or Captain America's.
I mean, everyone's gonna have a similar like copycat.
Yeah, they're gonna have similar. So that's not necessarily the biggest thing. It's more so like I don't know. I don't really care to see all of them in one movie.
Yeah, you know what it is
I don't really care enough about these characters to go out of my way to see it necessarily.
What it is for me is, and I guess it's kind of the same thing with the first Captain Marvel that I had an issue with, which I didn't touch on before, is that I'm just not a huge fan of like super overpowered characters.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to use DC as an example. Like, Superman, probably one of my least favorite in there, to be honest. Because he can fucking do everything. There's no struggle. The only way he has a struggle is if fucking Darkseid comes in or Doomsday, like some super uber powerful villain.
All right, we can't hate on Doomsday. Doomsday's really fucking cool.
I'm not hating. I'm just saying I'm hating on Superman, if anything. I'm not a big fan of characters who are like, they can do everything. They're so powerful. Like, that's kind of why I like Captain America a lot. He's just an average guy who got souped up and now he's fighting. He's one of like the most resilient characters. I don't know.
I see what you're saying. Like, it is cool when you go to that like super limit, just because it's not normal.
Cool. You can do some cool action and stuff with it, but
it's just cool action of like seeing them clash through planets and seeing them like do like insane feats.
Right.
That's cool every now and then. But like when you're having it mixed into a universe, how do you control the strength of this character and not go, oh man, this character could just fucking solo everything right now. Right. It's not even a threat.
I mean, it's like what you say about Thor.
Threats against characters.
If Thor is really that powerful, why does he need anyone else?
Yeah.
And I do like Thor because I think he has a little more depth to him, but I don't know. Characters that are super overpowered just don't do it for me, and Captain Marvel's like the Superman basically of the Avengers. I know there's characters more powerful, like Sentry and Hyperion's probably stronger and shit like that, but they're not as popular as,
Part of the reason probably why they haven't been brought in, too, is they don't know what to do with them.
Yeah.
I feel like they brought Captain Marvel in just because
they
wanted... Honestly, I don't even understand why they brought her in. I think they brought her in just because they wanted another, like, female
Also, I think she is a pretty popular character right now in the comics and shit.
Yeah, like, she is a popular character. I kind of just feel like they threw her in just because they wanted another... Because, I mean, Black Widow was being killed off, so they wanted another kind of popular female lead.
1, 2,
would be my guess.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, Eternals does not count. You cannot count that movie.
8, 9.
But yeah, like, there's not that many female superheroes, honestly.
Where's she at?
Who else do you really have? You have Black Widow, 10. And then you have some Guardians. You have Nebula and Gamora.
Yeah, but Nebula's done, I think. Gamora's done. Mantis is done.
So you won't see them again.
The only Guardians I think who would return would be Chris Pratt, obviously, and then...
Well, I'm just talking about like the female heroes.
I guess, but they're not coming back as far as
you got Kate Bishop eventually.
Oh yeah, I forgot about her. Even though I do like her.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like that's the only reason why she got brought in, is just to have another popular female hero. Which there's nothing wrong with,
Maybe
but
to have a powerful female hero, because all these other ones are like kind of like, oh, she's a spy. Oh, she has stretchy abilities. Oh, she's just a Hulk. Oh, she's just Black Panther. Oh, she's just an archer. Like, no, we need someone really strong.
She's brought in the wrong way, but just in this movie for the upcoming movie, I have zero desire to honestly kind of see it.
I like how they pushed her for fucking Endgame, and she shows up for like 5 minutes of screen time, if that.
Yeah, she should have fucking clapped Thanos' cheeks too, more than what she did.
Yeah,
fucking didn't do anything.
Yeah, I don't know. That's my biggest I just don't think it's gonna be good because I don't like that type of character.
I wonder, honestly, if they try to kill her, or if they do kill her off and replace her with other Marvels.
Because I think a rumor or like a report did come out, she didn't want to be Captain Marvel anymore because of all the backlash and shit. So maybe they will kill her off.
Which I know that sucks for her because like I don't think she should be getting any hate. I mean,
Yeah,
she's just
no.
playing the character she got.
Yeah,
So,
and even though I
and
said,
I
like,
don't think
really
she's
like
done
her
a
that
poor
much,
job
it's
at
nothing
playing
against her.
Captain Marvel. It's just I think the character is put in poorly. I think she's been written poorly. So that's 100% on Marvel. I think she's done a fine job. I just kind of feel like I think they might kill her off in this movie, honestly, and replace her with the other Marvels.
I mean, can he even kill Captain Marvel?
I mean,
is it like physically possible to do?
Have we seen some of the writing lately?
Yeah, but I mean,
Like,
wouldn't that just create more fucking backlash? Like, how can you kill her?
At
She's
this
the
point-
strongest character ever. I mean, they did kill fucking the Monica Rambeau variant in Multiverse of Madness with a fucking rock. So
yeah,
I guess anything's possible.
They can find some stupid way. They're like, oh, this weapon drains your power. You're no longer Captain Marvel. You're just back to a normal human.
Could do that, I guess. I don't know. I think it's gonna be, like you said, probably below average to garbage, but I guess I'll place it in meh.
Yeah, I think
Maybe below.
I
I'll put it
predict
in
it
below
will
average, I
be-
guess.
I think it's gonna be a meh movie. Maybe I'm wrong.
All right, we'll put it in meh just because I think so too. So let's take a look at this now. Looking at this list, is there anything you want to move up or down, or any last thoughts?
She-Hulk should be in garbage. Aside from that, I think it's pretty accurate for kind of where they stand. I mean, I'm sure everyone's gonna have their ones that are slightly up or down.
Well, everyone can fuck off.
No,
Just
fuck
kidding.
on.
Just
I
kidding.
want
I
them to
love you
fuck
guys.
on. I don't know. I think it's pretty solid. I think it's pretty fair too. I don't think it's anything too out. Maybe we were a little biased on the Thor movies, but I think it
No,
deserves it.
I don't think so. I think most people would agree with that.
No, I agree. But maybe we could have put like the first one in meh. But like aside from that, like I think it's pretty fair.
Yeah, I like it. Only thing I would do is move Endgame up, but
Sorry, man. Like talk to the writers.
what do you mean? I think it was perfect. You just don't like fucking. You're literally knocking it for one character. You're so hateful of fucking Smart Hulk.
I will never not be. I'm sorry.
He's not my favorite character either, but he's not enough to fucking ruin a movie for me.
Will never not be. I think
Whatever.
it's pretty solid though.
Whatever.
Like to be fair though, if you do look at it, I think Infinity War is a little bit more solid than Endgame.
I mean, I think most people would say
Yeah.
that, but I think they're both S tier. I think they're both good.
Yeah,
I think Infinity
it's
War.
like-
If Infinity War is a 99, Endgame's a 98.
I'd say maybe 97. You gotta knock the point.
Okay, well then, okay, if Infinity War is a 98, then Endgame's a 97.
No, Infinity War is like 99, but Endgame's like 97.
We'll
You
say
gotta knock that
98.
extra point off because Smart Hulk,
No.
he takes that extra point.
Okay, you get no fucking Hulk in Infinity War. How's that? No
yeah, no,
Hulk.
I agree. Like they destroyed Hulk, but at least he's not Smart Hulk.
No, you know, fuck you. I'm moving this up.
Boo, garbage.
I don't
Tier
care.
list
No,
sucks.
fuck you.
It's
This is our
it's
final. I don't
inaccurate.
care. No, I don't
It's
care.
amazing.
No.
It's down amazing.
No.
We're having a technical error. It's still amazing. Close
Oh
your
yeah,
eyes.
visual glitch. Just imagine that whatever you want,
It
or
is.
take the fucking test yourself. But
yeah, I think that's it.
I think we'll wrap it up on that. We've been going for a while. Drop a comment, drop a like, and we'll see you next
Subscribe to our
time.
OnlyFans.
Yes, subscribe to OnlyFans. Dallas is at Hot Horde
It's in the link.
101.
It's in the link.
Yeah,
It's
in,
okay.
in the description.
Yeah, click the link.
But
5% off first person to click it.
Ooh, that's a hot deal. Hot deal. Go and get your links. We'll catch you guys on the next one. See you later.
Peace.